Welcome back to the Red Dice Diaries, a podcast about the wonderful world of tabletop RPGs. And this is just a quick midweek episode to answer some voicemails that I've received. Thank you very much for sending those in. I really love getting voicemails, so thanks to everyone who's clicked on that Anchor app. We're going to start first of all with Ivy, the Happy Whisk. So take it away, Ivy.
Hey John, I can really appreciate that you didn't like the card at first, and then once you started, it's different, right? Playing with people that we know and stuff like that. Like Tim knows guys, and then you play with new people. So it's not a bad idea. And I like the fact that you can call someone on bullshit if they're using it the wrong way just because someone's playing a chick. I mean, come on. I like that you kick them out of the game. So go get your money back. Go away. All right, that's it for me, Whisk out.
Thanks, Ivy. Great to hear from you. I think you're absolutely right. It's very different playing in your home group than with a group of people you don't know at like a convention or something like that. And that's where I think the X card really shines, just acting as like a little bit of a safety barrier, because how you don't know half the people who are playing in your game. You don't know what they've been through. But yeah, as for the asking someone to leave my game if they had a problem with a female character or a female player or whatever, I think, to be honest, I can't claim any great sort of like courageousness for doing that. I'm more just sort of saving myself trouble in the long run, because realistically, if you've got a problem with like a female character or a female PC, then hell, what are you going to do when like goblins and like ogres and like elves and like God knows what else start showing up? It's just going to blow your tiny little noggin. So I think I'm far better off just to like say to this hypothetical person, my games probably aren't for you. You know, you can get your money back at the concession desk or whatever and send them on their way. And the rest of us can get on with the good old fashioned business of like not judging other people and just having an enjoyable role play game. So thank you very much for getting in touch, Ivy. And next we have a voicemail from my old mucker, Colin Green, aka Spike Pit. If you've not checked out his podcast, I highly recommend you do so. Another legendary anchorite there. So take it away, Colin.
Hi, John. It's Colin. The X card. Totally agree with what you were saying there. I can't really add any more other than if I was running at a convention, I would not be without it for sure. I don't see it as a holding back or a limiting in any way. Just seems to make good sense to, help everybody all round. My other thing I wanted to comment on was you mentioned Neverwhere and bringing that into the game we've got coming up, the Castles and Crusades with Great London. I think that would be an awesome idea, and the Gardens of Yin. You know, these little dimensions, weird places beneath this sprawling city, totally up for that. Puts me in mind of the Borrowers as well, in a funny sort of way. Take care.
Thanks for your message, Colin. Yeah, I'm glad that you're loving the idea of these sort of subdomains, these little pocket realms within Great London. It's an idea I really think has got legs and could add an extra dimension, pun not intended, to the Midlands Greater London game that we've got coming up, giving it a sort of Neverwhere vibe. I must thank you, by the way, for recommending the supplement Gardens of Yin. I've been reading through that, really thoroughly enjoying it. I'm hoping to maybe do a short review of it on my YouTube channel come the weekend, assuming I've got time. I've also ordered another book by the same people called Eldritch Library, which I think is on a sort of similar vein, but it's like some sort of interdimensional, like house of learning or something similar along those lines. So where you sort of build it as you go along. So I'm really looking forward to getting into that. I'm also very much looking forward to doing our session 0 for the Midlands game on Friday. So thanks again for the voicemail. Speak to you soon, Colin. Next, we have another message about the X card. This one's from Joe the Lawyer, legendary anchorite. Take it away, Joe.
Hey, John. It's Joe the Lawyer here. Just listening to your X card episode. It's funny. I I just heard about that the other week. Tim Short's game we were talking about a little bit. Not that anybody pulled it out there, because the thing I was thinking about is the older you are, like maybe, I don't know, thicker skin, or maybe it's a generational thing where we're taught not to be offended, or we're just offended less. I don't know what the deal is, but I just don't get offended by shit, right? So you put the problem is you don't put yourself in other people's shoes. Like you said, what life experiences they had. My first reaction to the X car was like, what a crock of shit. Come on, stop whining. But yeah, dude, you laid it out real nice. You never know what experiences people have had, honestly. So, I tend to just play with some groups I know, but if somebody new comes in, you never know what experiences they've had. So you got to be careful. So I think it's a fair thing to do. It's a fair mechanic. Good episode, buddy. Take care.
Thanks very much for the voicemail, Joe. Yeah, with regards to the X card, I can entirely see where you're coming from. I mean, literally, my first reaction to it was very similar to yours. I was just like, oh, really? Is that really necessary? But as you're saying, the more I started to think about it, and the more I started to run games like at conventions and the groups of people that I didn't know, because like yourself, I was mainly playing for like the same sort of groups and running for the same groups. But the more I started running for people I didn't know, the more I started to see the value of having something like that, both to ensure that the players are comfortable and enjoying the games, and to protect me as the GM and prevent any unnecessary unpleasantness. But I agree with you about the whole like not getting offended thing. I mean, personally, I don't get offended by very much in role playing games. You'd have to go a long old way to do something that like seriously annoyed or pissed me off in a game. I mean, the most you'd probably get is me just being like, oh, come on. But yeah, not everyone's as thick skinned. Not everyone has the same life experiences. And I just think it's worth having something in place, whether you pick the X card or something else. But I personally think the X card's a good idea. Just a little sort of safety buffer to help make sure that both the players and the GMs can enjoy their game. Thanks very much for your call, Joe. Take care. Catch you soon. And for our last voicemail of this episode, we have a message from Vance. Take it away.
Hey, John. It's Vance calling in. Enjoyed your last couple episodes and your musings therein. You had mentioned Gaiman's Neverwhere as a possible influence for your London game. Another one I might recommend if you haven't looked at it is China Mieville's Unlondon, which also has a Shadow London, and he admits is also heavily influenced by Gaiman's work. But yeah, it's a fun read and has a very, shall we say, pervasive villain in it. So anyway, just a suggestion, and hope you're well, and keep at it. Take care. Bye.
Thanks very much for the recommendation, Vance. I'd not actually heard of that series before, but I will put it down on my ever-increasing list of books that I need to get round to reading. I've been trying to gather up a bit of the old Appendix N reading materials recently to get into, but I will put London on there. I've also been looking at potentially using Ben Aronovich's Rivers of London series in a sort of similar vein, which has a sort of like urban fantasy in modern London vibe with magicians and sort of folk characters and natural spirits of the land and stuff like that in. So hopefully that'll be some cool inspiration as well. Thanks again for your message, Vance. Take care. So that's all we have for this episode. Thank you to all of our callers. If you'd like to get in touch with me in the future, you can either email me at reddicediaries@gmail.com, or you can get on that Anchor app and drop me a voicemail. I really do enjoy listening to them all. Until I see you next time, take care, and whatever you're playing, happy gaming and have fun.